Hello, everyone. It is Princess Ariel coming to you with a new story time called Disney After Dark. I will be spilling the tea on my own personal events and story that happened to me while I worked at the Magic Queendom in the entertainment character department, and it is a juicy story. So if you want the inside scoop on what the going ons of the going ons inside and underneath the castle, just sit back and get ready. Get your favorite drink, your favorite popcorn, because I'm going to tell you exactly what I experienced. So let me set this whole entire story up for you. It was the Magic Queendom Park. I was a part of the cast of the Sheriff of Nottingham, the Robin Hood set. There was always a Friar Tuck, a Prince John, and a Robin Hood. And we would always come out at this set called The Glade. It's a part of the park where the characters come out and you can get a private showing or picture or video with your favorite character from the Robin Hood set. So I'm 5'7". I would always play either Friar Tuck or I would play Prince John because that was in my height range. Now, the girl in the story that I'm going to tell you about, we're going to call her Twinklerbell or Tinkerbell because I don't want to give out her real name. But she would always either do she would always do Robin Hood, so that was her character, and her friend was 5'7", so he would either do Friar Tuck or Prince John, so we would do either or, and her friend was this gay dude that she always hung out with on that set. We'll just leave him nameless because he's not really a major part of the story other than just her sidekick. But every day that I would come up to that set before we would go out, she would always look at me and giggle to that her friend. And one day I finally asked her, like, what is your problem? And she just said, I just know you B words, bitches, are jealous of me. And I just looked at her and I was like, jealous of you? Why? Because you're just what? You're skinny, you're blonde, you got the little pixie haircut. Like, what is it about you that people are supposed to be jealous of? And I think you're saying that I'm jealous of you, but I don't get it because there's not much of you there. You're just like a little stick figure. And so, I had already started to realize, I'm trans or whatever. I was already out. So that was also like a thorn for her to start stabbing at me and jabbing at me to make fun of, me and say, well, you look like a man. You can never be a real girl. And, you can just give it up because you look like a big football player. You look like all of the things that you could think of. Quasimodo, she was just throwing it out there every day on the set right before we go out. Me and her would have words. Well, I never thought anything about it because I was like, well, whatever. I'm not jealous of her, and I've already staked my claim out here in the world. So, men is not an issue. My transition is not an issue. I'm already out here established. So, what are we talking about? So, fast forward, here comes the dirty part. I was seeing this dude at the time. We'll just call him Eric, Prince Eric. And he had been in my life for a while, off and on, as a friend, and he was very helpful during the time when I got outed and in my transition. And she knew it, and I guess she was going to use that to her advantage, and she did. And what she did was she went behind my back with him and told all of the girls at the Magic Kingdom who were princesses all about the dirty details. Well, a religious lady that I knew heard what she said and came to explain to me exactly what was going on between her and Prince Eric. So she said, I really don't want to get in your business and everything, but I think you should know that there's a girl who just said that her and Prince Eric hooked up and she performed fellatio on him. And I was like, a girl said she gave him a blowjob? Like, what are you talking about? Like, girl, are you fucking for real right now? So she was a religious lady, so I knew she was telling the truth. And of course, I was devastated because This was like, my friend, my buddy, somebody who we were hadn't gotten very close at that particular time of my life when things had just went awry and I was being outed and he was just being as supportive as possible and we were getting really close. So to find out that he had, you know, just blatantly did this, at work for one, and then with this girl who I'd been like beefing with for the longest of time, and who was trying her best to make me feel insecure about my transition. So I went to work that evening at the Crystal Palace, the Winnie the Pooh breakfast, which she was going to be there, and I knew that she was doing Piglet and I was doing Eeyore, so I went to confront her. And I asked her straight out, like, did you hook up with Prince Eric? And she said yes. And I said, so, what? Why would you do this? And she goes, because, he doesn't really want you. He wants me. And I said, you're kind of like interfering in my relationship. Me and him are seeing each other, and we're kind of dating. Like you don't, you're being messy now, and you're interfering in my relationship. So of course she told me that I was once again jealous of her. She was prettier than me. She was prettier than most of the bitches here at the park, and all the girls here are jealous of her, and that she can get all the guys, and that's why everyone is jealous of her. So I said, okay, I'm gonna go and talk to him, and of course, see what's going on. So we met up at lunch, the lunch table, and I just flat out and asked him. I said, Prince Eric, I want to know exactly, did you hook up with this girl, and why would you allow her, of all people who has been picking on me this whole entire time, to hook up with her and do the nasty? And he was like, I didn't do anything with that girl. And I said, well, she just told everybody in the park that she hooked up with you. And I said, and on top of that, she told a religious lady. And I said, I have a tendency to believe that lady, because there's no reason why that girl would come to me with the news that you and this girl got together. I said, so she's down there telling me now that you and her did get together, and that you want to be with her, that you really don't want to be with me. So tell me to my face right now that you want to be with this girl. Because if you do, by all means, go be with her. I said, but if not, please go down there and let her know that you don't want her, that there's nothing going on between you and her, and you better make her cry. When I get down there, I better see tears in her eyes. So he got up from the table. He went down there and talked to her. I don't know what was said, but when I got down there, oh, she was like so mad. She was like beet red and everything. And I told her, I said, did you talk to him? She goes, yeah, and I don't even care. I don't care. She goes, he really wants to be with me. I said, is that right? Because if I have to go back and get him back down here again, I'm gonna make him do it right in front of us together. So you better knock it off right now. I said, because he's saying that he didn't do anything with you. I said, but I don't really believe him. I think that you did do something with him. I said, and he's already said he doesn't want you. I said, and that's what I really wanted to get across to you, is that you've been telling me all this time that, nobody wanted me. I look too much like a man and all this stuff. I said, but actually, you just interfered in my relationship with him. I said, but I know girls like you. I said, you are just, dickmatized. I said, you're like a little Mrs. Pac-Man. You go around chomp, 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 chomping on men in little crevices and stuff. I said, and that's all you do. And I said, and you're doing it for free. I said, girl, you're not even getting paid. I said, at least you can get $100 a pop if you're going to be jumping off like this in the park. So she says, I just don't understand you girls. You're just so jealous of me. I'm so pretty, da da da. I said, I don't really care. I don't want to hear this anymore. I'm sick of this crap. You are disgusting. And this other girl had already told me that you messed around with her boyfriend, and she wanted me to let you know that she's aiming for you. She got the aim on you. She's going to jump you one day. I said, so you better get yourself together. I said, because obviously you're doing this with a lot of people's boyfriends. You're interfering in people's lives, and you're just doing it out of spite. I said, so, good for you. Job well done. I said, you just ruined another relationship. So it was time for us to go on the set. I had my Eeyore costume on. I didn't have the head on, and she had a piglet. We were zipped up. And I was just screaming at her because I was like, how dare you? I said, you're so disgusting. I was like, I really hate you. Well, I didn't realize that while we were yelling at each other up in the restaurant, they could literally hear every single thing that me and her were saying over the music, over the clinking tables, over the music, over like everything. So one of my girlfriends was up there doing she was her piglet. So she was up there. She said she could hear, "I hate you. I fucking hate you." She said people literally had their forks up to their mouths and they were like, "Was that piglet saying she hate Eeyore? Like what is going on?" Like they could literally hear us down from downstairs because the elevator goes up to the restaurant, and the kitchen area is literally where the our like underneath the kitchen is really where the break room was kind of located. But I didn't think that they could hear out in the actual restaurant that what we were screaming because I was saying everything like I hate you, you're nothing but a D sucker, you're just little Mrs. Pac-Man. So the girl threw the Eeyore head at me and I jumped out the way and missed, and then I threw the Eeyore head out the door trying to knock her head off. Well, my friend was coming down the elevator. She's at the elevator door. She said she saw an Eeyore head like fly out the door, and she said all she heard was this girl screaming like, "I hate you, you fucking bitch! I hate you!" She said tears and snot. She goes, "I'm not going in there. I'm just gonna wait out here while these girls are over here duking it out." And sure enough, the managers came down. They're like, "We can hear you guys in the restaurant. Like, stop it. Stop screaming." I said, "She's been messing with my boyfriend. She's been messing with Eric this whole time. I hate her." She's going around sucking all these guys here at work. And sure enough, she got in trouble, and they didn't fire her right away, but she continued on with her chomp capade, and eventually they ended up, pushing her ass on out the door. And I was so glad that she was gone. But by that time that she had ruined my relationship, that me and the guy end up kind of breaking things off, and just he never admitted to me that they did it, but to this day I know something happened. I don't know what exactly happened, but I have an idea that she was pretty much telling the truth about that. But the fact that she was not just doing it with him, she was doing it with every single guy that she could hook up with, including the supervisor. Like she was really working those lips throughout the department. She had a problem. I was like, she is truly digmatized. So I'll go ahead and stop there, let you guys chew on that for a minute. Tell me what you think. This is, Disney After Dark. This is one of the situations that happened to me while I was in transition at Disney and out at the park at the time. And one of the chicks that was really gunning for me to, like, try to detransition me amongst other people who were doing the little nasty. And she really crushed one of my relationships in the process with her antics. So I'll leave it at that. Like, share, comment, and all of that. Princess Ariel, I love you guys and thank you for listening.